want to give you 4 tips on how you can better manage your anger levels. Number 1, and a better one by the way, you address any underlying factors. Now, something many people don't know is that anger is a secondary emotion. This means that it is usually a reflection or something else lying beneath. So if you want to really manage your anger, it is very important that you look at the roots of it, because we know that if you deal with the fruits, the branches, and the stem of a tree, it will still come forth again. The same applies with anger. Look at the underlying factors. And what are these underlying factors, by the way? One of it is stress, and this is actually a major one for many people. When you are stressed, you tend to be irritable, you get angered easily, and as I usually say, it's because our mind plays the role of protecting us. So whenever you are stressed up, your mind puts you into a situation whereby you put off as many additional stressors as possible. Now, the problem here is that you become hypersensitive and hypervigilant. So whenever something comes near you, and sometimes it's harmless, you interpret it as an additional stressor. What follows? You push it away, either through words or actions. And then that is when we say that a person is hot-tempered, irritable, angered easily. But it is because of the underlying stress levels. So you look beneath, determine what is this that is causing you so much stress, and address that. If it is your relationships, you address it. If it is your work, you address it, because that could be what is escalating your anger levels. In other cases, it's actually dissatisfaction with life. Sometimes people are generally dissatisfied with the kind of life they are living, the kind of work they are doing, or generally with the achievements that they have made in life. If you are highly dissatisfied with life, you tend to be easily angered. And this is why I usually tell people, when you meet a person and you do something small to them and they show an outburst, before you judge yourself and say maybe there is something wrong that you did, know that some people are actually walking around wounded and in pain, in bitterness, because of the things that they are going through in life. And so they may be projecting the issues that they are going through on you. So you have to be careful. So one way in which you address your anger levels, look at whether you could be dissatisfied with their life and whether this could be the reason you are feeling irritable with everyone who does even the smallest things to you. In other cases, the underlying causative factor for your anger, it is wounds that you sustained from the past. And when we talk of wounds, we talk of maybe past relationship wounds. In other cases, it's your childhood wounds. Many people again are walking around wounded. They have issues they have carried from their past, from their childhood experiences. Some were abused by their parents, by their step parents, and now they walk around with that anger in them. So they only need a slight trigger and they get angry. So there are people who actually need to go to therapy. There are people who actually need to look within them and determine what is ailing them from the past. In other cases, there are people who are wounded by their past lovers, and so when you date such a person, you realize they have high anger levels. They are easily angered, they are hot-tempered, but it is because you are dealing with a person who is wounded, and again, they are in this mental status whereby they are trying to avoid any additional stress as much as possible. Another tip for managing your anger levels is that you be as objective as possible. Unfortunately, this is something many people don't do, especially when they are in disagreement with someone. Many people are focused on the person and not the problematic issue. And when you are focused on the person, it usually brings issues maybe from the past. It drags issues from other areas of your interaction with that person. For example, if it is in your workplace and a colleague has not performed a task as they are supposed to do, if you are focused on the person as opposed to the issue in question, the task that has not been done well, you are likely to drag other tasks that they did not do well in the past. You are likely to also drag other personal issues you have with them. So try as much as possible to be focused, to be objective. Focus on the issue in question. The same applies to romantic relationships or even marriage relationships. If your partner has made a mistake, try to be objective. Don't look at the person, because, and we know when we label when we label a person over and over again, eventually they become that which we label them. So if you look at the person and the mistake they have done in the past, you're likely to label them, and that predisposes them to continuing with whatever habit they have. So if you could be objective and point to the issue at hand and address it, and point out exactly what concern you have regarding the issue, it becomes easier to keep off unnecessary anger. Number 3, express your anger in the right way. I know someone is wondering, are there ways of expressing anger? Yes, there are. Some of the ways in which people express anger actually escalate their discomfort, they escalate their frustration and disappointment. If you are the kind of a person who bangs things around the house, who throws cups and plates and spoons in the house, by the end of the extent that you are having perhaps with your partner, you have incurred losses on top of the issue that you are addressing, and this makes you even more angry and more frustrated with yourself. So you are supposed to express anger the right way. And we usually tell people, because sometimes you just have to let out what is ailing you. And sometimes the person that you're engaging in a disagreement with is not even there to listen to you or even receive the things that you want to say. So what are you supposed to do? It is allowed to tear up newspapers, for instance. You tear up newspapers and throw them in a dustbin. You are also allowed to get into your bedroom and throw the pillows on your bed or on the floor. The fact remains, no one is going to be hurt by what you are doing, and at the end of the day you will not feel angry, you will not be frustrated because of you have done damages that you are not supposed to do. So express anger the right way. And you can also, actually it is also allowed to go to a room, a safe room whereby there is no other person, and let out a scream. That is also allowed, because sometimes you just have to let out what is in us, and we know that when you bottle up anger, it eats into you. Actually, one of the explanations for depression that was given by pioneering psychologists was that depression is internalizing anger. When you internalize anger, you develop depression. So you are supposed to avoid as much as possible to take in the anger, like do the things that you are supposed to do to another person to yourself. So you'd rather throw the pillows, like I explained, tear newspapers, call a friend and venting is also a healthy way of expressing anger. Even though we say that if you have a friend who is always calling you to vent, eventually you also become a stressed person. So that is not something that we should not do too often, because we may end up transferring our stress to our friends. So look for healthy ways of expressing anger. Sometimes it's journaling, writing down your feelings, what you feel is actually a very healthy way, because you are not hurting anyone. You are not having to voice out your issues to another person, especially if you don't have a person you really trust, but you are still getting your feelings out of you. So you can journal, write down what you are feeling, write down your frustrations, and so on and so forth. Just ensure that however you choose to express your anger, it doesn't bring you more damage. It doesn't bring you more ill feeling that would escalate your anger levels, because sometimes you get angry with yourself. At the end of the day, you get angry with yourself and not angry with the issue that was in question. Now, lastly, another tip that you can use to always make sure that your anger levels are in check is to always wait until you calm down before you address sensitive topics. This sounds obvious, but not many people do it. So if you have a sensitive topic you want to raise with your partner, don't raise it when you are stressed up, and also don't raise it when he or she is stressed up. Try as much as possible to raise the issue when both of you are comfortable mentally. Remember what I usually say, that your mind protects you. So if a person is stressed, they are trying to keep off additional stressors. And the same applies to you. If you are stressed, you are keeping off stressors. So if you raise a sensitive topic when you are stressed up, and then your partner says something that you perceive as rude, as harsh, as inconsiderate, and so on and so forth, you end up getting even more angry than you were at the beginning. So you should always wait until at least get at a comfortable mental state so that when you bring up the issue, you can address it as objectively as possible without doing what we call displacement. If you had stress in your workplace, or if someone offended you at your workplace, so that you don't bring that stress to the issue in question. The same applies with your partner, so that if they had issues with other people out there, they don't bring it to the issue that you are tackling. Wait until you calm down. And we usually tell people you can count up to 10 seconds. Sometimes you really need to address something urgently, but count up to 10 seconds. That will help you to at least calm down and be reasonable in however you say it. Sometimes you may need to leave the scene. So if it's something you wanted to tell your partner or whoever that you are interacting with, if there is something you wanted to tell them but you detect that you are not stable mentally, you can get out of the scene and come back when you have calmed down. Sometimes you do deep breathing when you are away. When you are away from the person, you do what you call deep breathing, whereby you sit down comfortably, you breathe in, a long breath in and a long breath out. And when you do that, it helps calm you down, and then now you can address the issue that you needed to address. Some of these measures sound simplistic, but they can bring a huge difference, because remember, when you are angry, you can say things that you live to regret. When you are angry, you can mess up or actually say things that you do not mean to say and preempt things that you do not want to say. So it can always help if you can take your time, bring yourself to a situation where you have calmed down, and then address the issue in question. I hope you have learned something in this video. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe. If you want to engage me directly, my number is here. And I'm also on Facebook, Mental Health by Jeniffer Kiarie. Follow me there and learn more. Thank you.